working. He's showing up at her job, in the house, enjoying a bowl of Crunch and Munch. What kind of cereal are these? Y'all, look at these cereal. He done whipped out the honey loaded crunchies. Who in the hell eats honey loaded crunchies? He looked like he'd be eating that kind of cereal too, honey loaded crunchies. Even the cereal crazy. We're finally getting a glimpse of Tyler Perry's latest film, Divorce in the Black, with the release of a new trailer. The trailer was released about 4 or 5 days ago, and it's causing quite a buzz. The film stars Meagan and Cory Hardrict, alongside Joseph Lee Anderson, Taylor Polidor, Shannon Wallace, Richard Lawson, and Debbie Morgan. Directed and written by Perry, the story follows Ava, played by Meagan, a young bank professional who's devastated when her husband Dallas, played by Hardrict, abandons a marriage she's determined to fight for until fate intervenes, revealing Dallas's wicked deeds that have trashed their marriage and once upon a time sabotaged Ava's destiny to be loved by her true soulmate. So yeah, he's a complete asshole. Now, as soon as this trailer opens, we see this beautiful opening shot of the skyline of the city. And as we make our way inside the scene, we see all of Dallas's crudeness, like right away. It's all over him. It's all over the table. It's all over the environment. The atmosphere is very thick, and we can see that. And I would have preferred that this trailer be without him yelling. You know, what y'all looking at? He's yelling across a crowded restaurant. And I just felt like it was a bit overkill, only because we've already picked up on the kind of jerk that he is, right? Just from looking at this. This scene does a great job at establishing the characters. So, I mean, Dallas is a jerk of a husband. Ava is the abused wife who's constantly making excuses for her husband. And it doesn't say this, nor do we see this, but Ava just carries that personality type to me. We also see that Ava has a friend, right, who takes up for her, speaks out of turn, like all the time. And she defends her because Ava doesn't really have enough balls to do it herself. We can tell that. And plus, we see her cheesy husband by her side, appalled at how Dallas is behaving in the crowded restaurant on date night. Now, like, he's the type of husband who doesn't have to speak up for his wife because she's got this, right? He's the type who's really scared to even try to put his wife in her place or put his foot down. Normally, it's the man who's taking charge and defending the women to, I don't know, to be the quiet in the storm, so to speak, but no. He let wifey over there just have her way. So he just grabs his popcorn and let her do whatever she wants to do. We definitely know who's wearing the pants in this relationship. And Ava's friends are actually the ones who invited them out on this date, right? Clearly, Dallas has other things that he could be doing because he gets up and he storms out. And we already feel bad for Ava, like right away. Because in this, 20-second clip, it tells us a lot. So they did a great job at establishing the storyline, and it kind of gives away the entire plot a little bit, but it's not too much. We then see the next clip of her at her parents' house. Clearly, she has run away from home, and I'm sure to get away from Dallas, right? Her mom tells her that she's home now and that she's safe. So apparently something happened that night. It appears to be the next day, and she's clearly running from something and afraid, paranoid. And her dad here, played by Lawson, he just kind of sits there, stoic. You know, sometimes when men, or women these days now, when they have reached their manic state, that state of no return, they get numb. They get quiet. And there's something very mystic about them. Like, you don't know what it is that's going on in their heads. Like, he looked like he wanna blow Dallas's head clean off, right? She told her mom that she's tried everything, to keep her marriage together. And I'm sure that her parents are who she looks up to because clearly they've been together for a long time. And I'm sure that she aspires for her marriage to be the exact same way. Then they cut to a church scene where we see Ava enjoying the word, and she's lovingly grabbing her husband's hand, but he pulled it away. He pulled his hand away. And there are a couple of things here that I wanted to kind of point out. Like I've said before, Dallas is a whole jerk, right? And it appears that his character is very stoic, like he's just a complete butthole throughout the entire movie. Like, I don't see where he's going to even have room to redeem himself, because every scene that he's in, he's just a butthole. And his standoffish attitude is making him predictable, which is lending itself to Ava and her co-stars to carry us through the ups and downs of the plot, so to speak. So I won't keep beating this dead horse about him being a jerk, but I did want to talk about the sepia color tone here that has been added to this shot. It looks a bit drab, but I guess it's supposed to look this way if they're going for a dated look. I don't know. Is the movie dated? Maybe it is. I'm not sure. But besides the obvious filter, I wanted to see a few more people in church. You know, I just wanted to see it filled out a little bit more. And it looks like her father is clearly the pastor of this church, obviously. So he has some restraints, right, when it comes to how he's going to be dealing with Dallas, putting his hands on his baby girl. And we can see them throughout the trailer fighting and wrestling a bit. But sometimes you just got to put that Bible down and lay some hands, right? Thug it out a little bit. No, I'm joking. But then we see her in another Sunday service, and this time she's alone. And it seems as though her father's sermon has everything to do with her. Maybe this is after the divorce, like the start of a new beginning for her. The next clip has Dallas interrupting one of her business meetings, and I say it's her business meeting because here Tyler says, making Divorce in the Black was born out of wanting to tell Ava's story. She's surrounded by all this power through her foundation, her family, and friends. She has all the power inside of her, but that power is somehow lost in her marriage. So it was important for a character to find her way to show that journey back to her power. So all of you who wanted Tyler to display a woman of power in his movies instead of having her play the unsuspecting victim all the time, here you go. But he done showed his ass in the meeting, and we know he has. Listen, when you have a trigger all up in your place of business in broad daylight, all in front of your coworkers, looking and acting like a damn fool, ain't no turning him around, right? It's like I said before, there is no redemption for him. It's like each clip, his character grows darker and darker, and you can tell something's wrong with him. Look at him, certified nut basket. Then the clips transition into the second half of the movie where she's out on a morning jog and her friend, her good girlfriend, is trying to convince her to start dating again, celebrate, get out of the house. See, that's the setup. I mean, she's not doing this knowingly, right? She know that this fool gonna be a stalker, Mr. Pepe Le Pew himself. Ava can't go nowhere. Not yet, right? You gotta let a whole lot of time pass. Then it'll be safe to go back outside. Safe to get back into the water, so to speak, because this fool is crazy. Then this next clip has to be my favorite, maybe because it's very bright and colorful, and who doesn't like a good country fair, right? Like, how could you not? And at this point, because of this, we see the film is looking like there's actual potential for a happy ending somewhat. And this little clip here kind of reminds me of Jason's Lyric. Do you guys remember that movie? I mean, they have to break the crazy some kind of way, right? Like you have to throw in some happy times. Like we have to throw it right in the middle of all the darkness. But I do see a happy ending. I don't know, maybe it's because of this fine random stranger who just happens to be there at the exact same time saying that he hates the way that Dallas treats her. So maybe he's not so strange after all. Maybe this is her childhood friend, someone who works at her company. And I say her company or her foundation because clearly she has or had some kind of status and power, but lost herself during this marriage to Dumbbell here. And in the synopsis breakdown, it also tells us that he stood in the way of her getting the love of her life. So I'm assuming that they're talking about him. So clearly he knows her. He's the new guy because now he's all at the surprise party and they're having a good old time while Dum Dum sits in the car stalking. He's showing up at her job, in the house, enjoying a bowl of Crunch and Munch. What kind of cereal are these? Y'all, look at these cereal. He done whipped out the honey loaded crunchies. Who in the hell eats honey loaded crunchies? He looked like he be eating that kind of cereal too, honey loaded crunchies, even the cereal crazy. So the trailer continues with her in the lawyer's office, talking to her good girlfriend, spending time with her new boo, all while Dallas done walked up in the Piggly Wiggly where her mama work at. I don't know, maybe he's gonna kidnap her or something. This guy is nuts. So I don't know, is he gonna kidnap her now? See, he continues to do this slow spiral into these dark areas while Ava is looking inside of herself, finding the power and the strength that she needs to get rid of his crazy ass. And this happens to a lot of women, where women lose themselves, right? So much to where she doesn't even recognize who she is. In the beginning, I'm sure that her life was all about him. Like, they probably got together when she was like way younger. So during the years that she should have been identifying with herself as a woman, I don't know, she was busy fighting him off, defending herself, you know, trying to please him. And now that she knows who she is and who he is, she's fighting back. And she even tells him that he doesn't really know the real her. So I want to see who she is too, because again, she has to carry this whole storyline because your boy, he's got some screws loose for sure. And I think this is what Tyler and the producers are keeping in their back pockets. And I say this because in addition to Perry, via Tyler Perry Studios, Meagan Good, Angie Bones, Will Arau, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Arau, I don't know, and Diane Ashford, they also serve as the film's producers. So there's definitely more to this film than meets the eye. And I really don't want to make this video too long. Of course, we see, you know, some of her neighbors or somebody beating the stew out of this jackass of a husband that she has. I'm assuming that this is him. You know, they kind of blink out and it doesn't really tell us or show us who it is. But I mean, if you put two and two together, who else could it be, right? The cinematography looks great. The hair, the makeup, the costumes are all on point. And like I said, this may be a dated piece, which is why there are some shots where they're using sepia camera filters or maybe filtered it during editing. But overall, it looks good. Looks like a really good story where you can grab a bucket of popcorn and just sit back and watch it all play out. Divorce in the Black will stream globally on Prime Video on July 11th. Will y'all be tuned in? I know I will. Lock, stock, and barrel for sure. Let me know what y'all think about this trailer down in the comments below. I like to give credit to Amazon Prime Video and Deadline.com for the article, video, and pictures used in this video. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.